So we usually plan the show several weeks in advance. When I was planning the show, I didn't know it was going to be so hot. So I know tomatoes are starting to be really nice at the farmer's market and at those roadside stands. They're even going to get nicer as the summer continues. So I love, one of my favorite things in the summer is bruschetta, which is, you know, that toasted or grilled French bread with a slice of tomato, basil, a little bit of cheese and some olive oil, sometimes balsamic vinegar. You order it at the restaurants all the time. Bruschetta, you know, make it at home this summer. It's just one of the most, it's just so easy to do. So I thought, how can I take my love for bruschetta, and you know me, my love for casseroles, and I like casseroles all year round. They're not just a winter thing, and make a chicken bruschetta casserole. So incorporate some chicken into it and some of the same flavors that you'd find in bruschetta. So I came up with this fun, brand new recipe. And I'm really excited about it because it's a little bit lighter for summer. It's, you know, and it's very fresh with the salad. Serve it with, you know, a nice big salad, and you've got a great summer meal, and it's all right in there. So I'm going to start with putting on the topping on this casserole, which I have in the oven here, and then I'll backtrack and show you how we got there. All right, so I'm just going to pull this out of the oven and work on a crunchy topping. I wanted to put the topping on later so that it wouldn't get soggy. So for the bread part of this recipe, I've got a bag of croutons that I'm just going to crunch up a little bit, not too much. Save those croutons, though. Sometimes when you get down to the bottom of the bag, those croutons are a little bit crushed up. Don't throw those out. I love to use croutons as a nice topping for casseroles. Something a little different. I'm always coming up with fun crunchies to put on top of my casserole. So I've taken the croutons, crushed them up a little bit, but I don't want them real fine. So that looks about perfect. And I'm going to toss those with a couple tablespoons of olive oil. And I thought I'd use olive oil, keep it a little bit lighter than butter. We love our Jejura olive oil. And this is going to be the topping for this casserole. So I just want to toss the croutons with a little bit of oil. You could do butter if you wanted. And again, I'll tell you how we all did this, but this is chicken breasts and tomatoes and wine and goodness. So at this point, we're going to do our cheese down first. Shredded mozzarella cheese over the top. And then go our croutons. And this is going to go back in the oven and get all crispy and yummy and cheesy and all goodness. All right. Don't worry. I'll take you through how we got to this process, how we got here to this point, but I just want to get this back in the oven so those will toast all up. Okay, chicken bruschetta casserole. All right. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take some boneless, skinless chicken breasts and give them some great flavor and let them marinate just a little bit. So I'm getting them in a Ziploc bag because I love to marinate in Ziploc bags, and I also want to give them a quick pound. So about 3 to 4, 5 boneless chicken breasts, just depends on how big your chicken breasts are and how many people you're feeding. And I'm just going to give them a little bit of a pound so they'll flatten a little bit and cook a little more evenly. Now this is an old trick that my mom used to do, and I still do it to this day, is I love to marinate with bottled dressings. I like to make homemade salad dressings for salads, but in a pinch, if you're really busy, there's no better marinade than just a zesty Italian dressing. So I'm going to do a little bit of Italian dressing over the chicken breasts, seal up my bag, and this is something, if I have a quick second, I'll do it in the morning. Just kind of use your hands to get it around. Whoop, I got a leak in my bag, which that can happen, and you know what? Better to notice it now. So when I was pounding there, I probably pounded a little bit too hard, but I'll just double bag it, and oftentimes I'll do that, or I'll put it in a glass dish because you don't want that marinade all over your fridge. And then I'm going to get it into the refrigerator and let it hang out for at least a couple of hours, or as I say, I'll do it in the morning before I head off to work. And that's going to give those chicken breasts some really nice flavor. All right, let me clean up my mess. And it's going to tenderize them too. So there you go, Miss Ann. All right, so chicken breasts into the fridge now. And we've got some that have been marinating that we're going to pull out. And we'll start putting this casserole together. We're so excited in my family because Ireland comes home from camp today. We put her on a bus with a bunch of girls on Saturday, and it seems like she's been gone forever. And we've barely heard from her. So if you ever send someone off to camp, first of all, the list to get her ready for camp, we shopped for about 3 days. It was like this long, and it was the craziest stuff. She was going to a dance camp as part of her high school dance team. So basically, we needed, you know, hot and icy, and, you know, for the pains after they dance, and
Icy hot.
yeah, icy hot. That's it. You know, all this crazy stuff. Tights, and you know, it was really long. So we got her all shopped up. We got her on the bus, and now, of course, we haven't heard a word from her. We've gotten one text, and that was the day that she was on the way on the bus. And so I texted another mom last night. I'm like, have you heard anything from the girls? Just being a mom here, I'm sure they're busy and they're, you know, working out a lot and exercising and doing their stuff. But and she said, I got one text from my daughter too. They're fine. They're working really hard. They're just beat tired. And this morning, Bob says to me, do you think she's okay? Do you think her phone might be broken? And I said, no. I think that it's a kid at camp and she's busy and they're coming home tonight. So he's worse than me. He's missing his little girl. So it's all good though. They're going to be coming home tonight, and it's so good to see her. It's just weird not having her. You know, you're excited to see him go. You're a little excited to get him out of the house. And no, I didn't mean that at all. No, but you know what I mean. But boy, it's so good to have him back home. Okay, so anyway, chicken breast marinated. Going to spray my casserole dish with cooking spray. And then I'm going to lay my marinated chicken breasts into the bottom of my dish. And what I love about this recipe is it just doesn't get much easier. And it's kind of company worthy. I mean, it's something a little bit different. And that's why I love casseroles. If you've got out-of-town visitors, which we have a lot of, you know, especially in the summer, a lot of people come up to our cottage. And, you know, on days like today, I don't want to be heating up that grill. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just one more thing that is hot. So this actually is a good one because you can make it the day ahead and just throw it in the oven, and it's done. Serve a nice big salad. You don't even have to do bread because it's going to have the crunchy croutons on the top. So, you know, it's really easy, and that's the way I roll in the summer. Okay, so chicken breasts are marinated. I'm going to do 1 can of diced tomatoes with the juice. So, you know, I talked about bruschetta, and it's got the tomatoes. If you wanted to buy, some of the canned tomatoes have some really nice flavors. So you could certainly buy some of the ones that have garlic and basil and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to add some garlic and basil to it. So, but, you know, just add some extra flavor. So the tomatoes go right over the top. I'm going to do a little bit of dry white wine. You could leave that out if you wanted to, but it's just going to add some nice flavor. Dried basil over the top. And some fresh garlic. We're going to just kind of scatter that over the top with the tomatoes too. So even Riley, you know it's bad when her brother misses her. He's like, well, I haven't heard from her either. Have you guys heard from her? Because sometimes, you know, they text each other, and you know, we were thinking maybe maybe Ireland texted him. Nope, no one's heard a word. So I think we're all going to be excited to give her a big hug when she gets off the bus tonight, and I think she'll probably sleep for 2 days. Okay, so in goes our garlic. I'll keep you posted. Watch tomorrow. I'll let you know how it all went down. All right, so at this point, we're ready to throw this in the oven, covered with foil. Cover it with foil, let it bake at 400 for about 20 to 25 minutes. That's going to get the chicken starting to cook in this great tomato mixture. And then you're going to do what I did, pull it out of the oven, crush those croutons tossed with olive oil and shredded cheese, and then the croutons on top, and then bake it for another 15-20 minutes until the chicken is cooked through. The breadcrumbs get nice and toasted, and the cheese gets nice and melty. So you've got kind of all the components of bruschetta. We added the chicken to make a meal out of it, and it's just really a nice, fresh, light casserole and something different. A lot of people say casseroles aren't company worthy. I'll tell you, mine are. Oh, this is starting to look really good. Okay, there you go. So you can see it's all bubbly. The cheese is all melty there. It's in a nice light sauce, unlike some of those winter pasta dishes that are in a more of a spaghetti sauce. This is just a real light sauce with the fresh tomatoes, the fresh garlic, and the basil, and then those crunchy croutons on top. You could garnish it with a little bit of fresh basil, which I know we have here in the fridge, or maybe you have some growing in your garden, and there you go. My way to do a chicken bruschetta casserole. Recipe's on the website. You can also pick up this recipe at any area Festival Foods.